Welcome back to American Baguette with French mustard. I'm Ava.
I'm Alex.
Hello, Alex. How are you today?
I am fine. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I feel I'm in my first English lesson.
Well, I just thought I'd check in and see how you're doing. But this is episode 10,
Yeah, 10 already.
and today we have a cool topic. We're going to talk about TV shows. Now, I will say that when we talk about TV shows, this would be the same as saying TV series because now TV is also like Netflix and internet streaming. So sometimes I ask students, oh, like how much TV do you watch? And they're like, oh, I don't watch TV. But then if I dig deeper, I realize they think I mean just on like a television, but
Yeah.
maybe they're watching K-drama on their iPhone. This still counts.
Yes.
What do you think about this, Alex?
I think you're right because we are from a generation that we we knew the TV, the real
We
TV.
are from the past.
Yeah, we knew the real TV before Netflix and streaming platforms. So that's why we are used to say, "Do you watch TV?" And people are often saying, "No, I'm not watching TV." Yeah, but I mean, do you watch series or films or I don't know what? So
Hmm.
I guess sometimes, yeah, about generations we are a bit lost.
Exactly, because they're like, well, that's not technically what I'm doing. I'm not watching a television, but it's a type of screen.
Yeah, yeah, and
So,
and they watch the same show that we watched before TV.
hmm exactly. Okay. So let's dive in a little bit to this topic. So maybe what would you say is your all-time favorite TV show or series if you had to choose one?
Yeah, it's really hard because I love so many shows, but my favorite one is Chuck.
Uh-huh.
This is my favorite of all time because it relates a lot of things that I lived, that I think, and it's a really good show because it's really fun to watch. There is also a lot of heart-feeling moments, and there is a lot of good music inside of that show.
Mm. I've never seen it, so I don't know.
I know.
I'm sorry. I have to say that when my students give me homework of watching their favorite shows, not a good student because I haven't really watched TV and of any kind. I'm talking Netflix TV shows. I don't even know when the last time I did that was.
I've tried. I remember in our previous one of our previous lesson about TV shows or something like this, and you told me something about a series, and I was like, oh, I will try. It seems to be a good series, and I remember that it was quite good, but the end was totally crap.
What series was this? What did I recommend?
It was the White Lines.
Oh, the ending was kind of not to give any spoilers, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, the ending was
Oh.
totally crap.
Yeah, I think sometimes they just don't know what to do. It's all this buildup, and then they're like, oh, we need to finish this show. So
Yeah,
hurry up and do something. I actually recommended that show to someone else recently, and they kind of hated it because the main character, Zoe, he was like, I can't stand her. She's so annoying. Why is she so stupid? I
yeah,
was like, yeah, I guess she is kind of stupid, isn't
yeah.
she? She's always doing stupid things, the whole series.
Yeah, but I liked, to listen to the UK accent and the Spanish, because
Manchester.
yeah, Manchester.
Uh-huh.
So I liked it, but yeah, just the ending is totally bad.
Yeah, the ending was a bit disappointing, not to give a spoiler, but for me, I personally love the character Boxer.
Yeah, yeah, you told me about it. I mean, it's spoiled about it.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's just like my Netflix crush, I guess. So I enjoyed it for the eye candy, perhaps is the reason I like the show. I didn't care that Zoe was being a big idiot the whole show. I just wanted to see Boxer.
Yeah, Zoe was really annoying.
She was. Yeah, she's just always going around messing everything up and shooting people in the legs with harpoons, things like that.
Yeah, yeah. And she had a good husband. She was totally horrible with him.
Yeah, not to give any more spoilers away, but
Yeah,
the show we're talking about is called White Lines on Netflix. So if you want to check it out, it's only one season, so it's kind of a short series. I really like that one. Okay, so if I have to talk about my favorite show from like a long, long time ago, my favorite like sitcom, which stands for situational comedy, I loved Seinfeld. I feel like so much of my personality comes from that show because I watched it a lot when I was a kid, especially with my dad. And I think he and I share a lot of the same sense of humor, and a lot of it comes from that show. Like we still make jokes from that show. So I don't know if you ever watched Seinfeld, but that's one of
no,
my favorites. But that's from like the 1990s.
I don't know it.
Oh, I see. Well, you could try it. It's actually still funny. So just taking some notes. Another show that I think is pretty interesting is The Simpsons. I did grow
Yeah,
up watching The Simpsons, which is an animated show. And something interesting about that show is that it was also popular here in Latin America where I live now. But if you watch it, the voices are totally different. And to me, they're wrong. It's like, no, that's not Lisa's voice or that's not Homer's voice.
yeah. In France, it's also popular, but in French. So yeah,
Mm.
voices are also wrong.
It's wrong.
Yeah, but they're kind decent. They're decent,
Mhm.
decent voice, and a lot of people just love that show in French, and I love it too in French.
Yeah, it's a funny one. What I think is cool about it is that it's animated, but it's not just like a kid's cartoon.
You know.
They touch on like societal questions, and what's also kind of creepy about that show is sometimes it's like it has predictions. I don't know if you've seen any posts on the
Yeah,
internet about that.
but it's easy to make prediction when you have more than hundreds, episodes, and they said a lot of stuff. So yeah, sometimes it's true, you know.
Well, I think that they had like some foreshadowing, like that like Donald Trump would become president of the United States, and that was like way, way, way before anybody was thinking about that. And then now he has been president twice, unfortunately. But I saw a post that like there was an episode many, many years ago saying that he was going to be president, things like that. And how would they know that?
They can't know. It's just pure luck, you know. It's like it's like pure luck.
Mm, yeah, I guess so. But yeah, so that's another show. Now, if we talk about more recent shows, one of my favorite shows that I did watch several times in the past few years was Better Call
Oh,
Saul.
I love
If
it.
you So good, right?
Yeah, yeah, and also the other one, Breaking Bad. I loved it. I love that show.
So I watched Breaking Bad first.
Yes, me too.
And it was good, but I have to say what I liked about Better Call Saul, well, two things. One is I feel like I was pleasantly surprised because this is kind of like it's a
Yeah,
prequel slash sequel,
yeah,
and it's like also what's called a spin-off because it's a show based on one character from another show, but a
yeah,
lot of it's like going back in time so you understand more of the story. Typically, these types of shows are terrible.
yeah. No, really, yeah.
But in this case, I honestly thought it was better than Breaking Bad. And the other thing is, I liked Better Call Saul better because I feel like it gets into more the character development and human psychology, whereas Breaking Bad, I think, was more like violence.
Well, not really, but
My take.
yeah, yeah, but yeah,
Alex disagrees with me.
always. Yeah, no, but also I loved it because I loved the lawyer character in Breaking Bad. I love Saul Goodman. It was my favorite character.
So good, man.
Yeah, it's all good, man. I love that
Yeah.
character. Yeah, and that show it was really it was really fun to see how this guy become this kind of lawyer.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, all the psychology behind it. The ending is
Yeah.
kind of surprising, you know.
Yes,
Oh,
it
I love
is.
that show too.
I think it's also like what is that called where it's like I can't think of the term. Where it's like he's kind of the villain, but also the hero. What is the
Mm,
term?
I don't have
It's
it.
on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah,
I can't think of it. Um,
I can't help you. I'm not a native.
I know, but sometimes I don't remember words. But basically, I think that that's also an interesting point because the things that Saul Goodman does, or Jimmy McGill, that's his real name in the show, the things that he does, or it's like they're not correct. He's a bad guy a lot of times, but then sometimes you see him trying to do things correctly. And what I think is so interesting is also how he kind of infects Kim Wexler.
Mm,
He infects her brain because she also started out as like kind of a wholesome character. And then you see over time, sometimes she becomes a bit more evil than even him. And you see that he's like shocked by her suggestions sometimes, like, who are you?
yeah,
But
and I love their
to me, that
relationship.
was, yeah.
You know, I have a dream
Yeah.
once. It's to do something like they do. You know, they are like in a bar and they're just pretending to be someone else. You know, they're like their company owner, as in like making a deal with a guy they just met at the bar. There's
Right.
nothing. You know,
Yeah.
I love this kind of stuff, and this is a dream.
But it's like a little bit evil, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know, it's not bad in a way because they're not scamming the guy at the end of the day. They're just nothing, you know. But it's just
Hmm.
fun to pretend to be someone else, and people doesn't spot you on.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess the thing is the show flip-flops, and I think that's the thing, and that's why it's so interesting because you can't decide, do I like this character or not? Because if you remember, he starts out helping senior citizens who are being scammed by Sandpiper Crossing. If
I
any of you have
remember,
seen the
yeah.
show, so, that's like a good and noble thing that he's trying to help these people that maybe a lot of people don't care about. But then like there's a certain point where he kind of goes above and beyond torturing what's that guy's name? The blonde guy that he kind of
I don't
hates.
remember, but it's the company owner, you know. The
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Howard
Yeah,
Hamlin.
it's that. Yeah, it's Howard for
Yes.
sure.
So he and Kim end up doing all sorts of things to just really mess with this guy's head and gaslight him and make other people think that he's crazy. This, I think, is going too far because, I mean, the reason they're doing is they're trying to finish that settlement for Sandpiper Crossing to get all these senior citizens their money and not delay it anymore. But they had to kind of sacrifice Howard McGill and make him look incompetent. But they did all sorts of crazy stuff to him. Made the boss think that he was like doing drugs and throwing bowling balls over the wall and hitting his car.
Yeah,
Lots of crazy things.
yeah, but
So,
you know, he has good intention, actually, you know, to do that.
mhm.
And that's the thing on that show that he's doing a lot of terrible stuff, but often it's with the good intentions at the end, you know. So
Yes.
I just love the character.
It's kind of like a Robin Hood character in a way, right?
Yeah, yeah, but not really, you know, sometimes.
Well, that's the thing, like stealing from the rich to give to the poor is this Robin Hood concept. So it's like it is good to give to the poor, to be charitable, but stealing is never correct, even if it's from rich people. And I think that it kind of gets into these themes, but it also touches on some Bonnie and Clyde themes, if you know that
Yeah,
reference,
I know.
because I think Jimmy and Kim kind of are like, this like couple duo that are committing crimes together, but they're both lawyers at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
So a lot of references. But yes, at my current stage of life, I have too much stuff going on to really enjoy any shows. I have no shows, guys. So if anybody has any great recommendations, maybe I'll find some time. So leave some comments about what shows you're watching now. We would love to get some recommendations. Are you watching any shows right now, Alex?
Right now, not at all. I don't have any time to watch
Oh,
shows. So
we're two peas in a pod.
yeah, uh, yeah, I'm just rewatching the Chuck actually, but I don't have time to
Oh,
find a new show, and I don't know what to watch.
oh,
Yeah,
well, they do say that that's actually really good for our psyche to rewatch shows that we've watched before. It is kind of like a comforting activity because you know exactly what to expect and you know you'll love it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that, and I also like How I Met Your Mother. Ah, this one.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I love this kind of
Yeah.
shows. Crabs, all
Yeah.
this kind of show. I love them.
Oh, we should do a podcast segment of how I met my English teacher, and we can like invite students on as guests.
This is creepy, no?
No, why?
Who do you want to invite? Like random people in the comments? Like, how do you met your English teacher? Ah, we have a
No,
platform, I
I
guess.
mean, I'm talking I'm talking about my regular students because it would be cool to have some guests on the show.
Yeah, yeah. If you
Get
think,
a lively debate going, maybe a little
yeah,
beef.
yes. Well, that will be a lot of beef, I guess, because yeah,
Yes.
there's kind of jealousy of some
So
people. I don't want to mention them.
so here's a little pop culture reference. If you have a problem with someone, in American English you can say, I've got beef with this person,
Yeah,
like the cow meat. Yeah.
I know.
So, and if you want to say that someone is jealous, you can say, oh, they're jelly.
Yeah, and service jelly. I know.
What's that?
I know there is jelly.
Yes. But speaking of jelly, if you are going to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, what is the correct kind of jelly to use, Alex? Pop
Okay,
quiz.
I have to be honest. Yeah.
No,
So
but I taught you this, Alex.
yeah, I know,
What
but
is the proper jelly?
I don't remember because I don't want to try this horrible thing.
It's a childhood favorite. It is pure nostalgia, but if you're going to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it needs to be Concord grape.
Okay, but
But anyway, this is a rabbit trail. Let's get back to the TV series. But speaking of food, let's talk snacks. Now, it is not actually recommended, I think, to be mindlessly munching while we watch TV. However, it can be nice. So, do you have any favorite snacks that you eat while watching your favorite show?
yeah, I do love eating chips in general. Like, oh
Mm,
yeah, eating chips and what we also call in France apéro. Like you're eating dozen of stuff, unprepared stuff, like guacamole, little toast, or something like this.
little toast.
Yeah.
When you said unprepared things, I just was imagining like maybe like you could throw like a low country boil on your coffee table.
Okay. Yeah, you're trying to trigger me. No, no country boy isn't on the menu.
But that technically, I guess, is prepared because it's
No.
cooked in a big pot.
Yeah, but when I say unprepared, it's like not a lot of preparation, like you're just warming something, cutting some vegetables with some sauce.
I see. Yeah, maybe just some snacks,
Yeah,
basically.
it's snacks, but we call that apéro in French, or apéritif.
See, every time you say April, I think you're being like bougie, and you're like, oh, I'm having my Aperol spritz.
No, actually, in France, the apéro is not bougie at all. It's like French culture, almost Almost
which is
everybody
bougie.
here. No, almost everybody here, when you say apéro, everybody is happy about it because I know they will drink some wine or beer, eating some snacks before eating the real dinner.
Is it like happy hour? Is it appetizer? Like, what
This is
is the
what you
equivalent?
call appetizer, I guess.
But an appetizer is never a drink.
Okay,
So
so it's appetizer with benefits.
a little extra on the side.
Yeah,
Um,
so this is the time where you
okay.
drink beer and can just talk with your friends, your family, whatever you're
Oh.
doing.
Maybe the Spanish would also call this like tapas in a
Yes,
way.
this is tapas with Spanish culture.
I see. But that Aperol word, it gets me every time. Every time you say that, I'm like, oh, I just imagine you're like having a cocktail on a terrace, but it's not that. Apparently, it's guacamole and
It,
little
it,
toasts.
it can be that also, you know. When you're
Oh,
in Paris with your friends and you're at a terrace, at a bar, and you're just drinking beers and whatever you want.
it's just like everything that you say, you make it sound like it's so normal, but to me, it just sounds so posh and bougie. It's like,
Because this is French culture. Uh,
what can I say? We're fancy.
what can I do with it? No, it's. I don't know if it's fancy or not. It really depends, you know, with whom you're doing it, I guess. Because
I
I made
see.
some white apple where I'm not bougie at all.
And you're like, what's this trash?
No, no, because you know, you're just with some good friends of yours and you're just like drinking and talking, you know, so there's nothing bougie, you know. Just imagine me with a beer like this and I'm like just drinking and speaking with my friends. No?
Okay. Sounds like a typical afternoon for you.
Ah, for me? No.
Not for me, but for you.
Yeah, so trying to say that I'm alcoholic. Okay, I get it.
No, no, I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that.
yeah, especially when you're saying that it's the typical afternoon, so it's implied that I'm drinking every day.
I don't know, you
But
know?
no, the truth is I'm not drinking a lot anymore.
I see. That's good. It's very hard to have any fat burning if there's alcohol in your body.
I don't need this. I'm losing my fat, whatever I'm doing, you know?
No, I know. I'm just talking about general fitness. It's kind of like it undoes everything you just did at the gym when you drink alcohol.
Yeah,
Because
I've lost some weight actually. Um,
that's right. Now we're in the gains area.
yeah.
Hashtag gains. But this
Mm.
is not, today is not about the gym. That was last episode.
Yeah, I'm not trying to gain muscle actually.
Which you guys can hear all about that in our previous
Yep.
podcast. We talk all about the gym. But as you see, we are weaving in and out of topics here, but back to snacks. So I think a very typical snack could be popcorn for watching shows.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that,
At the cinema, yeah, sweet popcorn, but I don't like, you know, the non-sweet popcorn.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yep. I don't like this. This is
Like
just personal test.
what is sweet popcorn? Like kettle corn, I guess.
No, it's just popcorn, but just sweet with some sugar.
Just sugar on your popcorn?
Yep.
What kind of sugar? Powdered sugar, caramel?
Um, can be caramel and can be normal sugar, you know, the regular one. You just spread it. Yep.
No. Is there butter?
Mm, no, no. It's just normal popcorn with sugar.
I need a moment to process this information. What? Okay. Popcorn was intended to be salty, buttery and salty, savory and salty. So, I mean, yes, we do have something called kettle corn, which is like sugary popcorn, and we also have caramel corn, but that's not exactly what you're supposed to be munching on when you're watching TV. You're supposed to be eating buttery popcorn.
This is typical in France when you're going to the cinema. to have some sweet popcorn.
Oh no, but I've heard this in other countries too. I think my Chinese students have also mentioned that they eat sweet popcorn, like that's the standard. Um, but they also have like cucumber flavored potato chips. So can we trust that flavor
No,
palette?
we
Who wants
can't.
cucumber chips?
Probably you, no? With your diet.
No. No, no, because I just eat a cucumber, not cucumber potato chips. To me,
Yeah.
that is an abomination. It's
Yeah.
like, let's not pretend. It's like if I eat ice cream, I don't want strawberry ice cream. I'll just eat strawberries. If I'm gonna eat ice cream, I want to indulge. I want it to be like cookie dough or birthday cake flavored or really indulgent. Like if I'm gonna eat bad, I want to do it badly, but I don't want to pretend that my potato chips are cucumbers because they're not. They're fried potatoes.
Yeah.
So I'm very much if you're gonna do it correctly. Let's not pretend that this is healthy because it's cucumber flavored. But I don't think the point is to pretend that it's healthy anyway. I think it's just they like the flavor.
Yeah.
But to me that was very weird to hear about that flavor. But that's another interesting topic. It's all the different like Lay's potato chip flavors in different countries. They have very strange
Yes, we have
flavors.
a lot of flavors in France, actually.
But they're different. Like if you do a Google search, I think I saw, I don't know if this was a joke, but I feel like maybe they had one that was called like the Builder's Breakfast from Britain, which is like, how do you even make that a flavor? What is this like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Remember when they had the bubble gum that was like a full meal? Like first it's like the Apéro, and then it's the main course, and then it's the dessert. Do you
Yeah.
remember that part from
I've never
Willy
seen it.
Wonka?
I've never seen it, actually. No.
What?
Yeah.
Where have you been? Living under a French rock?
Yep. No, no, I just never seen it.
He's been living in his wine cellar. Too busy counting his wine bottles
Uh,
to
when I was
to watch it.
when I was young, I I didn't drink any wine, as a young guy.
Oh, but according to the internet, in France, they used to give kids wine at lunch.
Yeah, like 100 years ago, something like this.
But still, it's crazy.
I'm not so old,
Oh.
guys. Please look at that young face.
Alex is 100 years old, just with lots of Botox.
So rude.
I'm sorry, I'm just kidding. Okay, sweet popcorn, a little bit weird for me, but to each their own popcorn. So, is there anything else that you eat though? Because for me, it's like popcorn, and I'll make popcorn with my air popper because then I can control the toppings. I don't buy like the microwavable bags. But if we're talking about sweet popcorn, sometimes I will do a sweet version where I melt dun, 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 peanut butter
Okay,
and I coat the popcorn in peanut butter. It's so good.
never tried. Never tried.
It has a little bit of protein,
Oh yeah, protein are important, right?
but it's a little bit fatty because, peanuts have a lot of fat. So it's not great for your macros, but it is delicious.
Ah, micros.
Macros.
I was thinking about that when we are snacking in front of the TV. Our macros. That's what matter.
Exactly. Now I know you're not thinking about that because it's like mindless munching. Actually, this is very problematic if someone's on a fitness journey. They say that you should never just eat straight out of the bag. You should always portion it into a small bowl.
Yeah, but that's your problem. You just can't take the moment. This is just a moment in your week, like a little one where once you're just eating something that is quite fat, but it's okay. It's only one time. It's only once on your week,
Oh,
once in your month, and this is where we have different opinion about that. I'm eating quite healthy in general, but sometimes I'm just eating some ice cream and different bad stuff. But it's okay.
bad stuff.
But
Uh-huh.
it's okay because it's not my daily diet.
Well, it's a slippery slope, Alex, because people never act in a vacuum. People act in patterns. If you do it once, you'll do it again. So that's why I'm very serious about my snacking and my macros. But sometimes I will enjoy things. That's why I was saying if I'm going to indulge, I want to actually indulge. I don't want to eat fruit flavored ice cream because I eat fruit all the time because it's healthy. But ice cream is not healthy. So if I'm going to eat ice cream, I want it to be like as junky as possible to really enjoy the experience, which is why maybe once a year I will get ice cream. Maybe if I'm back in the United States, because that's where they have the good flavors. Like here in Guatemala, they don't have the flavors that I want, which is birthday cake ice cream or cookie dough, chocolate chip cookie dough.
They don't have cookie dough?
Not that I've seen. I mean, maybe you can buy it in the store, but I mean, like if you go to an ice cream shop, that's not a flavor that I've seen.
There is no
Although
Ben and
maybe I
Jerry's?
need.
There is
No, that's American.
Yeah, but we have that in France, you know?
I mean, you can buy them at the store, but what I mean, like, I also, if I'm going to have ice cream, I want the ice cream experience. I want to go to an ice cream shop and get like an ice cream cone. And the ice cream shops here don't have those flavors. They have very boring flavors. Sorry, in my opinion, they're boring flavors because what I really want is birthday cake ice cream or chocolate chip cookie dough.
Okay,
Those are the
get it.
superior flavors, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, no, I got you. It's what it's called. Cheat meal. No?
It could be a cheat meal, yes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so yeah. Uh, I got you because I do it the exact same stuff, you know. When I want to eat something's bad, I do it at
Yeah.
100%.
Well,
I
I'll
want
give you
the
an
full
example.
experience.
So I'll tell you a little story time about ice cream and cheat meals. Last year, when my dear student from Slovakia visited me in my home city, I took her to my favorite ice cream shop in my home city because I used to go there when I was a kid and a teen. It's called Marble Slab. So they have this very cold slab of marble, and then you can choose your ice cream, and they have like these pallets, and they like chop it up, and you can add toppings. And so I took her to go get my very favorite ice cream, which is birthday cake ice cream. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe we added Reese's Pieces, peanut butter. We love peanut butter in America. I think in Australia they hate it. But anyway, Reese's peanut butter cups, I think, and then maybe chunks of cookie dough. Ah, this is the best combination. So I walked her through like the downtown of my city. We ate our ice cream together. It was a magical moment, a teacher-student ice cream treat meal moment, because she also loves the gym. So
Yeah, but why did you say Slovakia in that way? It was kind of
what?
weird.
Because it's a very special country in my heart.
Okay.
Somebody's jelly,
No, not me.
grape jelly. But anyways, getting back to TV shows.
Yep.
Okay, so how do you feel about TV culture now? Do you feel like we're watching too much TV
Mm,
as a society?
um, yeah, I guess a lot of people are watching, yeah. A bit much, too much TV, yeah.
Hmm.
But we can't really judge because it's an hobby, like others' hobby, you know what I mean? If you want to spend your time watching TV, you can do it, you know. It's not a real problem. It really depends
Hmm.
on what you are watching on TV, you know. It's like if it's like reality show, TV or real TV shows.
Hmm.
So yeah, we spend too much time, too much screen time
Yeah.
in general. So that's the
Well, that's
problem.
true. And I think that that's a reason why I haven't been watching much TV lately because I spend so much time behind a screen for my lessons and then for the podcast. And sometimes I think I just don't want any more screens when I'm finished working for the day. But something important about TV shows is that they are a great resource for language learning.
Yeah,
So this is something that I encourage my students to add to their homework. I kind of call this lazy or passive homework because it is so important for our ears to be hearing our target language as much as possible. And when we hear it, especially if we're hearing a particular accent, it's helping to train our ear. And it's totally fine if you don't even understand all of it. And I've touched on this topic in some other short videos, but basically you want to go back to the basics of how you learned your first language. When you were a baby, you just were listening to your language, even from the belly you're hearing the language. And so we need to let our brain process and not understand things sometimes. And so when I was learning Spanish, especially when I wanted to understand Spanish from Spain, I dedicated a lot of time while I was doing other things too, but just to listening to movies and TV shows from Spain. And it really, really helped me understand that accent more because I had been training my ear. Sometimes I had no idea what was going on. I set up my iPad in the kitchen while I was cooking something, and I'd be like totally lost. But actually, this is an important process for learning. We have to allow ourselves to reach failure and to let our brain do the work to get there. So, this is very important. So, we don't want to say TV is bad, we watch too much TV, because it can also be a really cool tool for your language learning. But I do recommend also that if you want to work on your listening comprehension, to turn off the subtitles, because this will help you really focus.
Yeah, you've made a video about it. And I also want to add that you can rewatch the same show multiple times. Like, I'm rewatching Chuck and
Uh-huh.
making all those idioms video with you. I've learned many
Uh-huh.
idioms and I recognize some idioms in Czech, like hit the sack, and I don't remember the last one, but I recognized it when they said it, and I was like, oh yeah, I know this one. But before,
Ha
before, I just watched it without noticing them. I was like, okay,
hmm
I guess it should mean that, but I wasn't really sure about it. But now
Yeah.
rewatching it with some new knowledge helped me to identify some new stuff on the show.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah,
And it's kind of like what we call the red car theory, where it's like if you're thinking red car, red car, red car, then you're going to see red cars everywhere you go. So it's like once you know something and you're focused on that information, or for example, if you're learning idioms, it's magic in a way, it feels, because you'll start hearing these or seeing them. Maybe if you're reading books, a lot of students say, "How did you know? You taught me this idiom, and then the next day I heard it. How did you know?" I was like, "I'm a witch." No,
yeah, you
no,
are.
I don't know. It's just that these are very common. And oftentimes our brain just skips over things if we don't know it. So you probably heard these idioms many times. You just weren't aware of them or you weren't looking for them. But now that you know them, you'll suddenly hear and see them.
Yeah, yeah. I was so proud when I heard I'm gonna hit the sack, and I was like, oh, I know this one.
Ha ha.
Yeah,
It's working. That's cool. Oh, awesome. Well, see, this is what we're talking about at work, because we can learn idioms through TV shows too. And then when we hear them later, then we'll be more familiar. But check out our YouTube channel, because we have idioms all the time that we're posting to teach you guys those. So make sure to like and subscribe. And also, if you have any questions about any idioms that you've heard, maybe they don't make sense, let us know. We can also make a video about some other idioms if there are any that are on your mind. All right. Well, let's go ahead and transition to a little bit of correction time. So, we've been talking about a lot of areas of TV shows here with Alex. Are you ready to be barbecued?
yep, yep. I'm ready.
Uh, Alex will be part of today's Apéro. But first, we'll throw him on the grill. Okay, so the first mistake that I noticed is you said, "We are used to say."
Um, oh,
Use your gerund.
we used to say, probably. No, no,
Well,
we are used
you
to
actually got the
say.
beginning
Yeah, we are
correct.
used to.
We
Yeah, I was.
are used to. saying.
Saying, yeah, you're right.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. The next one is you said, I love so many show.
So many shows. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
plural.
Exactly. Exactly. I love so many shows. Okay. And then you said it relate a lot of
It
things.
relates
Uh-huh. And
uh, with to
two.
a lot of
Uh-huh.
things. Yeah.
It relates to a lot of things. Uh-huh. Yes. Then you said heart feeling moments.
Hard feelings. Hard feels.
Well, heart. Okay. I
I'm
got the
trying.
feels. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're kind of mixing some things up. Hard feelings, like if you have hard feelings, that means that you're upset about something. Like, maybe if you weren't happy with the way something went, you would be left with hard feelings. Like you're like,
Mm.
I didn't like that. Um, I think what you wanted to say is heartwarming
Yep.
moments.
Yep. You're right.
Yeah. But that's okay. Students tell me sometimes that they get confused, like, actually, I was talking to a student yesterday, and she told me one that she was confused, and she said the wrong expression because she wanted to say, um, "We have been putting out a lot of fires." Like to put out fires is to like solve problems, but instead of saying that, she said, "Everyone is on fire."
Oh yeah, that's not the same at all.
But it was. She was like, "Was that correct?" And I was like, "Well, not exactly. It's like a different thing, but you basically complimented everyone because if you say someone is on fire, you're like, wow, you on fire.
I'm on
Like you're
fire.
doing so
Yeah.
well. Yeah." But it was a funny story, and we both laughed about it. So these are funny moments sometimes when we get these expressions confused. Okay, then you said one of our previous lesson.
Listens.
Exactly, because it's one
Yeah.
of
Yep.
more than one. So it has to be plural. One of our previous lessons. And then when I was talking about, I think I mentioned the show Seinfeld, I believe, you said, I don't know it.
Don't know it. I don't see the problem here. Yeah, I could say it
Well, that is
definitely.
because this is Frenchlish. Actually, this is also a Spanglish way of saying it. This is an important point here. Remember, our perfect tenses serve to teach us about experiences. Now, if you say a fact, if you say, I don't know it, we can know information and we can know people. But if we're talking about the experience of like going somewhere, like a country or city, or seeing a show, you wouldn't say, I don't know that show or I don't know that city. You would say, I have never seen it or I have never been there.
Okay.
So here we want to use the perfect tense, but this is exactly how you would say it in Spanish, and I think the grammar is the same in French.
Yep.
So I understand why you'd say that, but it's not exactly correct in
Good
English.
to know.
Yes, indeed. So let's go to the next one. Um, you said how this guy become this kind of lawyer when you're talking about Better Call Saul.
Became, I guess, no. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're talking about like the show shows how he became.
Yeah, when I said it, I was like, okay, the tense is wrong, I felt it.
Like I know it's wrong, but
Yeah, but sometimes, you don't want to kill the flow just to fix.
the damage is done.
Yeah, too
I'm
late.
just
I'm a
kidding.
lame, I know.
No, these are little things. Here we're just polishing Alex's English. And then you said he has good intention.
You had good intention. Yeah, also.
Well, I don't actually remember the context. I don't think that the tense was wrong. We have a noun problem here
Noun problem. Yes, good
because you said
intentions.
he has good intention.
Intentions?
Uh-huh,
Yep,
because we're speaking in general.
yep.
Whenever we speak in general, we need to pluralize it
Yeah,
if it is a countable noun. So otherwise, we could also say he has a good intention. You could also add an article, but we can't just leave it like a dangling singular noun.
Okay.
All right. So then you said, I'm not drinking alcohol anymore.
I don't, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I felt it too, this one, when I said it, I
Because
was
it is
like,
more of a fact.
I'm not drinking right now also, so it was really weird to say this.
Well, who knows? I see there's a bottle of mustard in the background. And who knows what's in that bottle?
Water. I'm drinking water.
I know. I'm just joshing, which
Yeah.
is another way of saying I'm just kidding. Okay, then you said, sometimes I'm just eating some bad stuff. Same problem as before.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm just eating. Dance, probably. I'm just eating. Yeah, probably.
I've noticed this with French speakers. You guys use a lot of progressive for no reason. I don't know why. Like in English, you'll just say, I'm just eating, but it's like, but right now you're not. Now, the present progressive, which is also known as the present continuous, it can be used for both short and long actions. It can also be used for future plan. But in this case, it's like you could say like a long plan of like I'm eating healthier these days. You could say that if you're making a long action. But I think what you're talking about in this case is actually a habit, not about a progressive action
Yep.
that's happening right now or at this point in your life. So what you want to use is the simple present tense. But I have noticed this trend with French speakers. French listeners, tell us why. Why are you guys using the progressive? Why? I want to understand your grammar so I can better help you.
Yeah. There is no reason, I guess. Yeah, because when you're
Oh.
speaking, you're just using your knowledge, and just
Well,
sometimes you're just failing.
I find oftentimes there's a root to the problem because perhaps you would use the equivalent of this, like maybe you'd use a progressive tense in French to say this thing, and that is acceptable to say as a habitual thing. But in English, you wouldn't use the progressive to talk about a habit. You'd only use the simple present to talk about a habit. So that's what I mean is like, I think that there might be a reason. It's kind of like all of my Russian speaking students, they don't give any articles to any noun. Like just never. That's like the common habit. And so, because I've taught so many Russian speaking students, I've learned that they don't have these in their language. So that's why they don't add them because they don't exist for them. And so we have to make a real concerted effort to add the articles for them. So I try to understand the base language of each of my students better so that I can better help them and anticipate what kind of errors they're going to make. So there must be something there. That's all I was saying. French listeners, tell us what's going on in your heads when you're about to make a progressive sentence.
Look at the
If we can
script, guys.
understand,
Look at the
no,
script. Please explain us. Explain to us.
no. Every language group has their typical errors, and this is one I've noticed, and I want to understand. So no, um,
No offense.
no offense. I just want to understand. That was my last note. So how do you feel, Sir Alex?
It's okay. It's okay, actually. So,
Yeah,
yeah. No, that's so many mistakes.
not really. And some of them were the same things.
Yeah.
Like not pluralizing your nouns.
Yeah, but I know most of those rules, but sometimes when you're on the flow of the conversation and you're like, okay, just talking, and you're like, oh, I'm missing a S.
Yeah.
And as I also already said, I learned English only at school, and after that, it's just by practicing, with people. So I'm pretty sure that I need some real lesson about grammar sometimes, some tenses.
Oh,
I know
well, if
it.
you want some grammar lessons, I know somebody who teaches it.
I don't know. Oh yeah, I know somebody too. Yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
yeah. Um, I know someone who starts by a hem and another one by a G.
I don't
But
know who these people are,
oh
but
yeah, good.
anyways,
I believe.
Alex doesn't understand how to read between the lines. I'm just kidding. Okay. Well, very good points though. Yes, sometimes we need to go back to the grammar a little bit, but I think for the most part, it's just sometimes in the flow of conversation, we still make mistakes, and that's totally fine. And that's the whole reason why we are here.
Yep.
We want to help our listeners improve their English by hearing a real conversation between a native and a non native speaker and seeing that we can have a wonderful cultural exchange while also learning together. And because I also learned from you, Alex, I learned about French culture. I learned you guys are so fancy.
Yeah, yeah. You learn a lot from me. I know.
Indeed. So it goes both ways. This is a two-way street.
Yeah.
But that is the end of our TV show podcast for today. Thanks for everyone who made it to this far in the podcast. In our next podcast, we are going to take a look at the topic of we'll talk about music next time. So I'm excited to dive into that, and we will see you guys on the next one. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.